With the price of gas up 30% over just the last couple of months, and energy bills up to 40% higher than they were the same time last year, it's even more important that we're frugal, everybody. Hi, I'm Aubrey. This is Crybaby Seminole Homestead, and I like to look for good deals, find steals, and, pay it forward. So let's take a look around and see what we have at the Dollar Tree. Yes, I have to vent a little bit because literally whatever they say is happening with our prices, it's more than what they say. So I just did a price comparison from month to month, and I like to buy my gas usually at Fred Meyer's or at Costco because it seems to be the cheapest places. And the price went up from 3.30 to almost $5. And then PSC Energy, um, my bill compared to this time last year is up 40%. And I researched, and it says they're only supposed to be increasing 29.32% over the next 3 years, starting in 2027, and that there's like a 19.83% increase for natural gas at the same time. So I'm not sure if they're like looking at that. I don't know if it's compounding. I don't know how they're calculating it, because my electricity bill was up, my usage was down. My electricity bill was up 40% over last year. And I wasn't as frugal last year as I have been this year. So I know something's up with the prices. So do you. And as I'm looking around the Dollar Tree, the prices are still up, you guys. They do have a lot of really cool stuff that they didn't have a couple years ago. Um, but you have to think of it now as kind of like Big Lots. Now that Big Lots is out of business, at least in my area, I'm kind of thinking of Dollar Tree as Big Lots. And when I first went to Big Lots, I had the same, like, oh my gosh, shopping like a millionaire. Like, that's Team was saying, right? But um, I go to Big Lots and get great deals, just absolutely great deals. It's the first place I ever got a greenhouse was at Big Lots, and it was like $30, and I was so excited. Now, I mean, right before they shut down, there's a reason why they shut down, because their prices are high. People who are going to Big Lots to go shopping were going there for the deals, right? And then they just kept going higher and higher and higher. They also had better and better stuff. Um, but we weren't there for high-end items. We were there to get a good deal. Let's be honest. It's nice to see nice things, but like I one of the things I loved about going to Dollar Tree is that I would bring my kids with me. Look at all these items, $2. $2. I used to catering items. I don't use these items like to buy them and use them and throw them away. I would buy these items for gardening, indoor gardening stuff. The plant tray, if you use these as a plant tray, now that's $2 too. Those used to be $1. And I would buy things like that and put them underneath my potted plants inside. And you're saving some money. And I think they look a lot better than what they sell at the nurseries. It doesn't have the little lip to hold water, but I would never pour like a gallon of water into my plant. It'd usually be like a little puddle. And it's way cheaper and it's way cuter. So I mean, even at $2, it's still a better deal than what you see at the nurseries. But it's it's 100% higher, you guys. 100% higher. $2 is 100% higher than one. So it's twice the price. Um, these are pretty good. They're actually really bouncy. I actually bought one of each color, basically, I think, except for the pink and purple for my son for his Easter basket. And he already had one, but I was like, you know what? He'll have a lot of fun with these, and that way he doesn't have to stress out because he always worries about losing stuff. And those were not very expensive. I don't remember what they cost, but I want to say that they're $1.25 or $1.50. Now these here, they look better than they really are. I tried to bounce it. Oh man, it barely bounces. It only bounced like a foot up in the air. It was really cool that it lights up, but it's a ball. What's the purpose of a ball? It's supposed to bounce. Come on, y'all. So I decided not to get that one, even though I really liked that it was sparkly and it lights up, but it does not bounce. You know what I mean? So I'm looking around here. Some of the items here actually are good enough for gifts. I used to always begrudge people like, don't buy Dollar Tree's gifts, maybe as a stocking stuffer or like the extra stuff, but not as the main gift. But now you actually probably could because a lot of this stuff is higher end. I like to buy these. Of course, I liked it better when it was a dollar for my garden to keep squirrels out of stuff. And I've got those like little peg things. They look like giant staples that you can put through the edges and stick them down to the ground. So the squirrels, they can't really tug them out either. So I don't know where I got them. I want to say probably Temu. I don't buy from them anymore. Just because I'd wait and wait and wait and wait, give up, buy something from Amazon. It would end up being better and cheaper in the long run. Temu does this thing where they like you spin the wheel and you win 7 items for a better deal, but you have a certain amount of time. You have to hurry up and get it done because they don't want you to change your mind. And you start putting stuff into your basket, and then they're like, "Oh wait, actually, it's 9 items." Now you've got a couple of seconds to put in a couple more items, and quickly, as fast as you can, put in the order really fast. And some of the items actually do have shipping and handling. And so when you order that quickly, you don't have time to check your cart and do things right, you know? And a lot of times things don't come um as described. Like I thought I was buying some stickers that were about an inch big. They were like a centimeter big. My students still like them a lot, but I thought I was getting a good price. It wasn't that good of a price because they're small and I couldn't use them the way I wanted them. So I told you guys before in one of my other videos, if you are new to my channel, I do a lot of gardening, homesteading type things. I do some creative stuff, like I write songs and stuff like that. Um, and I like to save money, like we all do. I am starting a seed company. Right now, I'm just in the warm up phase of trying to see how everything works, figuring out all the rules, logistics, getting organized, figuring out how to streamline processes because my processes right now are still kind of clunky. I'm getting more and more organized about how I have things set up. But I went to Ross and bought a bunch of what probably most people use for organizing hair ties, barrettes, maybe jewelry. I bought a bunch of them, mostly pink and white, and then I did a couple different colors because I basically bought all of them. And then when I went to leave, one of them I realized was like all smashed in the front, so I returned that one. And then I came back a couple days later, and they only had one there, and it was a different random color. I went ahead and bought that too, because I'm trying to get my seed company um, organized where I can just grab the seeds really fast. Right now, I've been using like these tub things I got from Hobby Lobby. Okay, I love this little kiosk thing here where you can scan. It's a little scanner, price scanner in the middle of the store. And this Dollar Tree didn't have one of these before. And I was getting really frustrated because I would ask the attendants and I'd be like, hey, how much does this cost? They said, well, we will go ahead and scan it and find out. Um, Once you hold something in your hand, you are much more likely to buy it regardless of the price. So I don't want to even pick things up if it's out of my price range. So I really do want them to have things clearly marked. A lot of things are in this like um transition of changing price, so they'll have like a red sticker on it. These sticky notes are pretty cool. I think these are great for like if you are taking notes in like a library book and you can't write on it for some reason, if it's a book that you're sharing or you're borrowing or you just really want to keep it in good shape, you can see through these are actually transparent, so they're not paper, they're like plastic, but they're sticky and you can stick it on a page, write all over it, circle it, and so forth, and it's kind of cool. I kind of like it, love it. You would definitely want to use a brand new Sharpie marker on these. And then, of course, if you're using it inside of a book, don't close it while the ink is still wet because then you will get ink on your book, which is the whole point of me using these. Is I'm kind of like using it as a bookmark, and I write my little notes and stuff on it. That way, I'm not ruining the book. These crochet hooks, actually, that's pretty cool. They do have they have some like sets of crochet hooks that came across somewhere. But they only had one set, and it was a bunch of them, and I think it was less than $2. So I did buy one of the plastic sets of those. The metal ones are pretty ergonomic. Like, it actually feels really nice in your hand. So for a dollar or two, it's it's a pretty good deal. If you go to most craft stores, you're going to pay a couple dollars for a crochet hook. So I'm just kind of spinning around here. There are a lot of people here this day, and I really didn't want to bother people and like get anyone's pictures on the video. So I just spin around a little bit. I apologize for it being a little bit blurry and choppy in this area. Oh my gosh, you guys, look, a couple items are actually still $1.25. So if you look over in like the frame area, they still do have quite a few things for $1.25. Um, their picture frames are a pretty good deal. I am kind of nervous about glass, and I do feel like picture frames have really thin, brittle glass, and I'm always afraid someone's going to cut themselves. So I'm kind of thinking of using frames without glass and just using like laminate in front of the pictures, but I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I bought those new candles, and I wanted to just try it out. I kind of like them a lot, so I might buy some more. Um, they're a little bit more expensive because the other ones are three for in a pack, and those ones are only have two. But the whole clear chamber really glows pretty nice. So I think it gives off a little bit more light, if that matters to you. It looks way less natural, if that matters to you. So the little tea lights that are battery operated, you can pretty much make them look like if they're a regular tea light. The ones I picked up this time, they're definitely fake, but I did like how much, like I said, the little sphere, like the little sphere shape of it, it does glow pretty nice. Um, the I did notice that the gift bags are going up in price a lot. So are some of the shampoos and conditioners. The basic ones, like the VO5, are still $1.25. Yes, they are. But I noticed that some of the items are like $3 or more for things that I would have thought would still be $1.25. I bought some of that leave-in conditioner, and it does have some natural ingredients, but I also have some not so natural ingredients. I've been using it on my hair, and I actually like it a lot. I'm not using it on, like on my scalp, but I get, pretty dry hair. The ends of my hair gets pretty dry because I've been using a dehumidifier, taking all the moisture out of the air because it just really helps me breathe better. Um, but then your skin is dry and your hair is dry, and so I got some of this, and I do kind of like it, and it was only $1.25, I believe. It also kind of smells nice. So it smells natural. There's probably a few things in there that aren't, but you know, for $1.25, I think it can compete with the items at any other kind of retail store. So, still the place to go to get hair accessories. And me with my long hair, I'm always using my little scrunchies, and I don't just use them for hair stuff. I use them for other things too. Um, Still the place to buy socks, and I mentioned this before in my other videos that this, if you do the math, 10 for $4 is a great deal, and I continue to get them there. We kind of use them like disposables. One of my sons does not put his, I don't know what happens to them. I blame the washer machine or the dryer, but I didn't see them going in, so they're not coming out, right? Um, they have a lot of gardening stuff. They don't all have it all in one area though. So if you're expecting to see all of your gardening things, you're going to want to look around the whole store. S hooks are great for the garden because you can do hanging baskets. I also like to use them to hang up herbs and let them dry outside when it's summertime. Popcorn, my son right now, I usually buy it at Costco. And so I like to keep a little bit at work so that after school he can have a snack. It's nice to have a hot snack on a cold day. And they have Little Debbie's. I haven't seen that particular kind there before, so $3 isn't too bad. They're a nice size pack. I'm not buying that kind of stuff because I am losing weight. But if you needed some snacks for your kids or something, of course, check your ingredients and stuff. You just want to be much more and more mindful about what we are putting into our bodies, because what you're saving on frugal items here, you might end up turning around and paying it to a doctor for being unwell. So, I do like to buy the paper plates for my little sick dog. Oh, back to the popcorn. I guess I wanted to grab some more. So the paper plates, my older dog, she is 17 years old and has some kidney problems. And so I have to give her this powdery stuff that I mix with her food. And I don't like to do that on a plate that we eat off of and then have her lick it. So I use a paper plate and then throw it away. So that's just what I'm doing. I'm not saying that you should necessarily buy a bunch of paper plates. Um, and while we might think that we're saving water by not washing dishes, the amount of water used to make things, um, it's it's probably going to be way more than doing a load of dishes. So yeah, it's not saving any water for those people who think that buying paper napkins, paper plates, paper bowls is saving water. It's saving maybe the water in your house, but if you're talking about consumption of water, um, yeah, it's not. So the products actually have to be produced and it takes a lot of water. So, and also with all of our use of AI, um, that I had students asking what was the issue with AI, and it has to do with water and water purification and contamination of water sources because they have to cool those big servers. Anyway, everybody, be good, be sweet, grow a garden if you want to eat, and pop a comment in the area below. Thank you. See you next time.
Good deal or no deal, buy it or goodbye it. Not a dollar, but what deals we see at Dollar Tree.
My baby's homestead. We like to grow, we like to garden, find good deals for our yards, then plan our groceries, save some money, smell the flowers, watch the wildlife, stretch a dollar, write a banger, make a friend from former stranger. Bless your garden, bless your homestead, flowers for you, hope for you. Grace for gardens, grace for souls, every space, community garden.